right, you guys excited to talk about search engine marketing? Like to hear. So I'm here to give you guys some really advanced search strategies and really help you guys move the needle. I'm really passionate about e-commerce and search engine marketing, and I want to give you guys some really fresh perspectives into it because I'm sure some of you guys have been sitting out there. You've been doing search engine marketing for a really long time. We'll give you some guys new, fresh perspectives to really help you move the needle. In case you don't know who I am, my name is Ronald Dodd, CEO at Visitor. We're a 10-year-old SEM agency based out of Charleston, and we focus on e-commerce, and the vast majority of our accounts use the Magento platform because it's such a great platform for search engines. If you're new to search engine marketing, or you don't know what it is, search engine marketing is a great way to acquire customers. It's a great way to acquire customers because 81% of consumers research products online before they buy. So it's a great opportunity for us to be in front of them when they're searching and figuring out what to buy and researching. We can get in front of them and get them to hopefully buy from us. 79% of consumers still click on organic listings. So SEO is not infected. People still trust or do not trust the ads, and they click on the organic listings. And no matter how much advertising Google sticks on the search engine results, people are still clicking on the organic listings. And it's really untapped in a lot of cases. Search engine marketing is a very technical skill set needed. There's a lot of changes, so you have to keep up with the industry. So it's a really good opportunity to focus on it and do something different than your competitors, be more successful than them. I'm going to be talking about both sides of search engine marketing today. In search engine marketing, there's organic, SEO, and then paid, PPC. Down here is the organic listings. It's what we don't pay for in Google. Google crawls our site and displays the search results based on our pages and external factors. I'm going to be talking about the paid side too. Optimize your AdWords account to get better performance and better returns on our advertising. I'm going to be going through this pretty quickly. I have a lot of content I want to discuss. So if you miss anything, I'll have some time for Q&A at the end of this. And I actually wrote out everything I'm going to say today and put it in this PowerPoint. It's available for download at the end of this presentation. So just starting off, one philosophy I want to discuss. Search engine marketing is very much a top of the funnel conversion. What I mean by that is kind of your first chance to be there in front of a customer. And one thing I see a lot of Magento merchants doing wrong is they look at their returns and they compare it to other marketing channels. If you look at email and social and other ways where you get repeat purchases, you generally have higher returns because you've already seen that customer, they bought from you, and you're just getting them to come back and buy again. You want to really look at the lifetime value of the customer, and then you can calculate your ROI a lot better because a lot of merchants out there are able to see the lifetime value of the customer. They buy customers, they repeat and basically remarket to them later, and they're able to get higher returns and build their businesses quicker than some of their competitors. And that being said, I'm going to move into the organic side. We'll be talking about optimizing our web pages, external factors, get better performance on organic search. So there's a lot of factors in Google. There's thousands, right? But there's really three main factors, and you can really lump all the thousands of factors into these main three. Content. So what's your page say? If someone searches women's heels, your page says women's heels, we got a match, right? It's everything from site speed, how fast your site load, you make sure you have the right canonical tags to cut down duplicate content, meta tile description, the whole 9 yards. Links is basically other websites that link to you to give you an upvote. Google, when they first started, they basically said, how are we going to match sites? Well, if this site says, women's heels, and someone searches women's heels, we'll put them together. But what if 10 pages say women's heels? We'll look at links and decide which one's the best quality, and then we'll match it based on that. And then the third big ranking factor is rank brain. I'm going to really dive into that a lot more in depth, but that's basically Google's way to understand what people really want when they're searching, and able to match search results a lot better. And this was confirmed by Greg and Andre, not going to try to pronounce his last name, two Google engineers, and they said this during a Q&A at an SMX Advanced keynote. It's really impactful because we really know that these are probably the three most important factors in Google. And the vast majority of Magento merchants really focus on the content side, right? We're optimizing our meta titles, we're doing the right keyword research, we have the right canonical tags. But really the big opportunity is focusing on links and this rank brain. And there's a lot of reasons why Magento merchants haven't really focused on these two. First, rank brain is really technical. There's not a lot of information about it. It's been fairly new. It just got released to the search results fully in 2016, late. And links, it's really hard to get linked to. You can see this backlink profile of Target and Forbes. Forbes has almost 3 times as many links. And it's because they're a content distributor. They distribute content, and Target sells products online. And Target's a much bigger company than Forbes. Forbes only has about 2,000 people. So if we could take plays out of the Forbes playbook, we could be more successful as merchants. And so just to reiterate, the real opportunity is optimize it for links and RankBrain, because everyone focuses on the content part. If we could focus on those 2 factors, we could be more successful. And I know that's a lot, and if you're out there and you're like, Ron, that's great, but I only have a limited amount of time, what should I focus on? I've seen the best return on time is for larger merchants is focusing on RankBrain, because if you're a big brand, you naturally have a lot of backlinks. And for the smaller merchants, focusing on links is a really great tactic because you can have the most effective impact from your time. And so I want to move into the third most important factor, which is RankBrain. So Bloomberg did this huge study about RankBrain and what it's about. It's Google's way to really understand more about what someone really wants when they search. Because, like I said before, Google's always just used content, women's heels, this has women's heels, we found a match, and links, women's heels, these 10 have women's heels, but this one has more links, so we have a match. But people have always gamed the search engines using links. So Google wants a new way to really decide search results. And so they really released this artificial intelligence. And RankBrain, artificial intelligence, I kind of lump it all into this kind of RankBrain, but it's really the same thing. It's Google's way to really understand what someone wants and provide the right search results for that searcher. And if I could break it down into 2 key ways, the first is it simulates keywords together. So when this was first released, if you search for women's heels, keep talking about women's heels, stuck on it, and you search for women's pumps, you'd see pretty much the exact same search results. It was really crazy as I looked at this, and I saw that Nordstrom would rank for both of those keyword phrases at the same position, and it was their women's pumps category page, and it ranked for women's heels. But I didn't say the word women's heels on it. It didn't even have women's heels in the products. So Google's able to see that when someone searches women's pumps and women's heels, it's a very similar keyword phrase, even though it's really a different keyword phrase, right? And then they can also see how people interact with search results. So they could put a cookie in your browser and see where you're going. Do you leave it right away? Do you click on any listings? They're able to use that data and serve better search results when someone searches. So it's a lot of information. So I'm going to break this down into 4 key ways of how that works and how to optimize for it. So we've always had this kind of keyword-centric mindset, right? Back in the day, you could basically create a lot of landing pages and rank for different keyword phrases, like one landing page for coffee mugs, one landing page for unique coffee mugs. Now that's not really so true anymore. We have one landing page ranking for both coffee mugs and unique coffee mugs because they're similar keyword phrases, and Google knows that. So we can have one page that ranks for women's heels and women's pumps, etc. And the second one is click-through rates. If you're Google and you display your top 10 search results and someone goes to that and doesn't click on those results, if you're Google, you didn't do your job. You didn't serve them the best search results, right? And that's basically, this is a good example to illustrate that better. So one SEO thought leader told his Twitter followers, Google iMac Lab, and go click on my listing. When he sent that tweet, he was the number 7 position in Google, and 150 people Googled iMac Lab, went and clicked on him. And just a couple hours later, from 6 to 9, he went to the first position. So we can infer that more people clicking on us in the organic listings, and gives us a higher click-through rate, and then gives us higher search engine rankings. You might be thinking, well, it's great, Ron, how do I get people to click on me? And the way you do that is really jumping out of people with good call to actions and your meta information. And if you don't know your meta information, on the back end is where you can put in your title and your description on your products and categories, and you could really jump out at people and entice them to click on you. This is a really great example. American flags, proudly made in America and guaranteed to last. A meta description. Our American-made flags are sewn with pride by American men and women, many of whom are U.S. veterans. If it's mid-June and I'm going and searching and buying an American flag for the 4th of July, you better believe I'm going to click on them. Feeling very patriotic, and this has a really good emotional tie and connection to me. And here's some more examples of click-through rate optimization you can do in your meta information. You have the word number 1 if it's applicable and true. Main keyword phrase in your free shipping if you offer it or under monetary discounts. Get the best main keyword phrase. A variation of understand, shop, see, visit. And your main keyword phrase is the insert product and brand differentiators, such as proudly made in America, guaranteed to last. It's going to really entice someone to click on you, right? And like I said before, this is great for larger merchants because it works really, really well. This is a graph that shows where a retailer ranked in Google for a 60,000 monthly search volume phrase. And can't read that, but it's basically a 10, and they're all the way basically bottom of page 2. And they basically put in this method, and they're able to basically increase their keyword ranking for this really highly sought after keyword phrase that's really hard to optimize yourself for over the course of 3 months. And don't worry about those drops, it's just the data is off there. But you can see that they implemented this, and they're able to increase for a really highly sought after keyword phrase and leapfrog a lot of competitors. And the same for this retailer too, for 100,000 monthly searches. Basically, mid-page 3, and they're able to work their way all the way to the basically top 5 position in Google over the course of 3 months. So having people click on us is really impactful in organic search. And the third one is dwell time. If you're Google and you serve your top 10 search results, someone goes to a listing and leaves right away, you didn't do your job if you're Google. You didn't serve the best search results. And to illustrate this better, a really good SEO thought leader wrote a really good article, How to Get High Quality Backlinks Without Guest Posting. Did really well. He got a ton of traffic to the site, but had 57% higher bounce rate to this blog than all his other blogs. And he couldn't figure out why. He's like, why do I have a higher bounce rate? So he looked at Google Webmaster Tools to see what he ranked for in Google for this page. And he figured out he ranked for how to get high. So, so if you're searching for how to get high, this doesn't solve your searcher, purpose, right? I'm looking to get high, and this guy's trying to teach me how to do SEO. I don't care about SEO. I don't even know what that is. And what's great about this is Google actually dropped them for the keyword phrases how to get high, but increased them for the keyword phrases how to get high quality backlinks. So Google real time understands that, hey, we messed up here. We gave this guy who wants to get high advice about doing SEO, and we adjusted our search results based on that and dropped it for it and increased them for keyword phrases that people are searching for SEO help on. And so here's a couple examples of how to optimize for that. You can go and using a tool like SEMrush or other ranking tools and figure out where do you rank for in Google for keywords that are like page 2 or 3, and then go and see what can we do better to optimize us for those keyword phrases. A good example, let's say we have a running watches category page. We're trying to rank for Garmin watches, a good brand that we sell a lot of, and we want to sell more of, right? How can we optimize that page better for the keyword phrase Garmin watches? Google says we're not a good source for that information, right? We're on page 3. The Google gods have spoken. We're on page 3. Does it not make sense to put more Garmin watches on that category page? Could we optimize our meta information, include Garmin watches more? Would it not make sense to create our own landing page for Garmin watches and only have Garmin watches? And that way, someone's searching Garmin watches, they have their own page, their own section. We really solve that, searcher intent and give them what they want. Another way is looking at our Google Analytics and figure out what can we do better to optimize ourselves. So we could basically go to landing pages, sort by organic search, and we could look and see how we're performing in organic search compared to probably the year before. And if our metrics are going the wrong direction, if our bounce rate is going up, our pages per session going up, pages per session going down, average session duration is going down, we're probably not doing a good job for our customers. They're probably coming from search engines, and they're not giving them the same experience that they used to have before. So how can we reverse those trends? Is it a new site design? Is it maybe our pricing's wrong? What are the reasons that someone's leaving our site right away when they come from a search engine? How can we reverse that trend? If we could reverse the trend, then we could be more successful in organic search. And Google will like us more, and they'll place us up higher in the search results. And so that kind of leads me into my fourth way RankBrain works. And it's usability. So Google's really smart, They understand how people interact with search results. And to illustrate this kind of point, one of my team members at Visitor came to me and said, hey, Ron, can you figure out why this company ranks #1 for fashion? I was like, okay, who are they? And he said, Fashion Nova. I was like, never heard of those guys. And this is incredible. This is September 2015, a year and a half ago. And they went all the way from basically, 3,000 keywords in SEMrush to 83,000 keywords in a matter of a year and a half. Who wants those results? It's incredible, right? And we looked at everything, every traditional way. Why would they rank high in Google? Was it backlinks? No, they were on number 7 for jeans. And they had much less backlinks than Macy's, Target, and all the other big retailers on the first page. It wasn't on-page optimization. They didn't have a meta description on their category page that ranked for jeans. So it wasn't content or links. And we looked at everything, and then we started looking at other things. Looked at the Instagram profile, 6.3 million followers, and they were getting a ton of traffic from the Instagram following, almost to the point of, I think it was 150,000 people search for Fashion Nova every single month. And there's a lot of people searching for Fashion Nova jeans too. And if you're Google, wouldn't you say, there's a lot of people searching for Fashion Nova jeans, and they're interacting really positively with Fashion Nova. Maybe we should try them out for the keyword jeans or jumpsuits or those keyword phrases. And it makes sense, right? And we looked at other things too. We looked at Alexa rating and compared it to other two big retailers on the same page for jeans, and they had a much lower bounce rate and much higher time on page. So if you're Google, you're like, man, people like this brand, and I know their backlink profile is terrible. Their on page is really poor, but I bet you people are going to like them by putting them in search results. And that's why they're getting so much traffic, so much higher rankings. So really focusing on the customer experience when they Google, when they come to your site on their first landing page, and optimizing them, keep them on your site longer, hopefully buy more products, we can be more successful. Google will like us more, and will place us higher in the search results. And I know I talked up Rank Brain a lot now, but let's not forget, unless you have 6.3 million Instagram followers, links are still a very important factor in Google, and it's the second most important factor in Google. And Google's probably never going to do away with links. They tried doing search results without links, and just social data, it did not work out very well for them. So we really want to focus on the second most important factor in Google too, and a great way to do that is through content creation and promotion. I know there's probably guys out there that you've been doing, backlinking for a long time. You might have hired bad SEO companies, had penalties before, but I'm not talking about just any backlinking and getting any backlinks. This is an example of bad backlink, 12weightloss.blogspot.fr. This provides the user no value. I don't know if you read the content, but it's really poor. It's on a weight loss, and it's about a content about braces. So it really provides the user no value, and Google's going to crawl to say this is useless, and there's no credit given. This is an example of a really good link. This is a link from thebestorganicskincare.com. It links to a company that sells organic skincare products. Very keyword relevant, right? Talking about the 4 benefits using organic beauty products. It has 800 social media shares and 9 comments. So users like the content. They're interacting with the content. And Google crawls this and says, this is a good piece of content. This is really relevant, and this is going to give that company more value through that link. So now I want to talk about how do you do that. And it's not through just creating content and expecting links. Sometimes you might get lucky in your big brand, you just publish content and good things happen. But the vast majority, that's not the case. You can't just create content, publish and pray, and hope it works. It's not just about creating content and just promoting it and tell people about it. You can't just go to someone and say, hey, here's my top 5 blenders in 2017. Thought you'd like to hear about it. You have to give them value. So creating insanely unique and interesting content, promoting it to the right people, and giving people value is the way they get links, and someone's going to take time out of their day to link to you. And I'm not talking about just like blog content. There's this huge thing about we just have to create lots of content, high quality content. But we don't have to just create blog content. This is one of my favorite examples of that, if you know what this is a company that sells blenders, and they created a campaign centered around Will It Blend? And they literally blended an iPhone 6s. They blended golf clubs. They blended all these crazy things to show the power of their blender. It went really viral, had 5 million views, and is wildly successful. They created their own website and had all these videos of them blending crazy things. And that one website got over 70,000 backlinks and had a really high Ahrefs rank, and they're able to rank for a lot of keyword phrases using it. And I'm not saying we need to blend iPhone successes, but we want to be creative with what we're doing. We don't have to just do what everyone else does to be successful. And so that said, I want to kind of break down the content plus promotion plus value formula and show you how to do it. The first is we got to figure out what content we're going to create. A great way to do that is figure out what's worked well in the past. So we're not just guessing on what's going to work, right? We don't want to guess. We're using our valuable time and resources. We want to be as effective as we possibly can. 2 ways to do that. First is using a tool like Ahrefs or BuzzSumo. We can just figure out what's worked well in the past based on how many times it's been shared on social media, it's been backlinked to, or the domain authority, etc. down the line. Or we could just Google it. We can figure out what keyword we want to rank for, Google it, figure out what's ranking high, and we make better content. Using this data, we can figure out if someone was made in 2012, we can make it 2017. We can basically blow it all the water. We just want to see what's worked well in the past and make better content that's out there. And so once we got that part figured out, then we want to do the value part. So we got our awesome content, we got a great content idea, and the first way to get value is have insanely unique and interesting content. When I saw that Blender video probably about 5 years ago, my friend shared it on Facebook, I thought it was hilarious. It gave me value, right? It was funny. So viral content and humor is a great way to go to create insanely unique and interesting content. Another way is studies and data. Remember, I showed you a couple examples about some SEO thought leaders who did some cool experiments, able to show me something that's funny, how to get high, right? That's insanely unique and interesting, something I can really sink my teeth into and gives me more value, or gives my website more value. It gives things I'm talking about more value, right? And so once you got that part figured out, either studies, data, viral, funny content, or something that's really going to give someone value, then you want to do a couple of these strategies. You can have them, someone can get more value by taking your insanely unique and interesting content and sharing it on their social media, so they build their followers, it builds their social media presence. Taking your studies or data, you can create an infographic, and they can take that on their website, more value. It doesn't create duplicate content. One of my favorites is writing them unique editorial content for their blog and referencing your content. It's one of my favorite strategies to do, and it's really, really relevant. And I'm not talking about creating just 500 words and just sharing it on some website. I just wrote an article for Search Engine Journal on the plane right here. It's 5,500 words. You can guarantee that thing is going to do really well, I hope. And then, you can create videos too, right? With viral content. And they can post on their blog and gives their website more value. And then also the last strategy is suggesting, mention their content and vice versa. If someone's talking about in their content, will a blender blend a ginger root? And I say, yes, it will. We blended iPhone 6S. I'm pretty sure it'll blend a ginger root. They can post that in their content, and that gives their content more value because they can have something funny. It increases their article value, and they can show that you can blend a ginger root, right? So hopefully that gives you some ideas of value, but really just getting someone a lot of value that they'll take time out of their day to link to you or use your content is what you're trying to do. And so once we get those two pieces figured out, we want to figure out the promotion strategy. So we have really cool content, and it's insanely unique and interesting, so it's going to give people value. We've got to figure out how we're going to promote this. We need people to know about it, otherwise they'll never know about it. And so some good promotion strategies to do is first is email newsletter, sending this to your customers, people subscribe to your list, posting on social media, using social media advertising tools, Facebook to Instagram, lookalike audience, etc. Display advertising, Google Display Network. You can take your customer list and you can advertise them using Facebook and Google. And then my favorite is email outreach. Go and telling content editors who have written similar content about your content. And then they're much more likely to like it and interact with your content. And eventually the gift that keeps on giving, search engines. You rank really high in Google, more people are going to come and find your content. You're going to be more likely to link to you too. And so with all that said, I want to give you an example of a really good content creation and promotion strategy that worked really well for a company. And so what this company did is they had 19 keywords that they wanted to rank for. This was back in 2014. And they said, we want to rank for unhealthiest foods. And so they Googled unhealthiest foods. They went and saw what ranked in the top 3 positions. And they blew that content out of the water. They made the top 15 unhealthiest foods on the planet. And then they created this amazing content, really did their research on creating better content. They posted it to their blog, and then they promoted it out to their social media network, their email newsletter list, and cold email outreach. Amazing things happened. It got 137,000 Facebook shares. George Takei, if you don't know him, he's from Star Trek, one of the originals. He shared it. It got 9,000 shares as well. And guess what? It got backlinks too. Literally, they said, I saw this on Facebook, and it linked to that content. So it's really powerful to get your content out there, and you're much more likely to get links to promoting content on social media, email newsletter. And it did really well. It's still the #1 search for unhealthy foods, last time I checked, 2 weeks ago. And it's been there for 3 years. It's been providing them tons of search traffic and potential customers all for 3 years. And it's a really interesting piece of content, insanely unique and interesting. It's been doing well for a really long time. So just wrapping up, creating amazing, interesting, relevant content, promoting the right people, and adding value to someone's day is a great way to get links and be more successful in organic search. And now we'll move into the PPC side, where we're discussing how to optimize our AdWords account and get better performance. So I talked about a lot about SEO, and definitely this mentality of more is better, right? I'd rather have 500,000 visitors to my site with a 0.5 conversion rate than 50,000 visitors to my site at a 1% conversion rate. Complete opposite for AdWords. We want the most effectiveness for every dollar that we spend in AdWords and their best return on our advertising spend. And the best way to do that is really focusing on the long tail keyword phrase, right? Because we want to be there when someone's ready to buy compared to when they're ready to research. So you can see here, if we're buying keywords like red Nike spin running shoes, higher probability conversion, lower cost and risk. Compared to for buying, shoes and men's shoes, higher cost and competition, lower probability conversion. So we want to focus on that long tail phrase. We want to be there when someone's looking to buy. They're more likely looking to buy than they're looking to research. The reason being is 81% consumers research online before they buy, right? So it means we're probably spending a lot of money in AdWords on people who are researching content and not looking to buy. And the best way, or one of the good ways to do that, is focusing on inventory-driven search. And so what we're doing is we're creating individual ad groups for each of our products to have a very specific ad text for someone searching for a very specific keyword phrase. So someone's searching EVS SpO2 shoulder brace. Boom, we got advertising right here. EVS SpO2 shoulder brace, right? And it's very relevant, and we got a lot of cool things on here. Buy now $43, free shipping or $99. Something that's really going to jump out at them. Good call to actions, get them to click on us. With the right script, the right software, it's really easy to do now. It used to be a pretty difficult tactic back in the day, but because of the advancements with product feeds, it's a lot easier to do it now. And you can do it really easily, the right script, the right software. You can, if you run out of inventory, it can automatically stop the ads for you. And we're able to create really specific experiences advertisement for people searching for very specific products. And on average, it provides about 100% higher return on advertising spend than other paid search campaigns that we're running. So it's really effective because very specific advertising for very specific searcher. And it's really impactful for anything aftermarket automotive. You sell parts, B2B. If you have specific items or specific like brand, price, model, or more that is someone could be searching for, you're much more likely to have a much more specific advertising for that person. You can really jump out at people like I discussed before. The only thing is you want to be mindful of your matches. Use an exact match for this. Not all people just search for your exact product. So using a phrase match or a modified broad match can be really effective because you can show up for a larger amount of keyword searches and capture more of the search traffic because it's so impactful. The only thing you want to do is continuously add negative keywords to this because you could also show up for a lot of bad stuff you don't want to show up for that you're wasting ad spend on. And now I want to move into Google Shopping. So obviously we know Google Shopping is definitely the future and Google's really shoving in Google Shopping ads when someone searches for e-commerce products, right? So it's really important that we optimize ourselves for Google Shopping because that's really the big opportunity for Magento merchants out there. And if you're just hooking up your AdWords account, your product feed to your AdWords account, it's not good enough. There's so much more opportunity you can do to optimize for it. If you don't know, Google Shopping is pretty simple. They basically take your product feed and they display you in the search results based on what your product feed says. So the four main points of what Google looks at is UPIs, your title, your category, and your description. We can't really optimize 1 and 3, right? There's not anything we can do there, but we definitely can optimize the title and the description to decide or have a better chance to show up for the searches that we want to show up for. So just like, on-page best SEO practices, when our main keywords and modifiers are the first 45 characters, we want to have the main keyword on the left-hand side most because that gives the most weight. We include modifiers like color, brand, model, or more. Remember, like I said, if you're in B2B, aftermarket automotive, you want model numbers in there that people would be searching for so you have specific things in there that they see and that they're more likely to click and buy. And then using good call to actions too, to jump out at people and get them to click on you. Number 1, free shipping, proudly made in America, guaranteed to last. Things that are really going to jump out at people and make them click on you in a really competitive Google Shopping real estate. I'm going to get super negative with you guys. I'm going to talk about negative keyword mining. So we can't tell Google what we want to show up for, but we can tell Google what we don't want to show up for. So using negative keywords, we can go in and optimize our product feeds and our product feed campaigns or different product buckets and stop spending money on keywords that we don't want to show up for. So here's a good example. In our arm brace campaign and group, we're basically buying keywords like American flag, arm cast, and arm straps or chair. We sell arm braces. That has nothing to do with us, but people are clicking on us, therefore don't want to be there, right? So adding negative keywords eliminates the ad spend and enables us to have more specific searches we're targeting. And now I'm going to talk about cute dogs. I'm going to incorporate it into search engine marketing tactic that a retailer used that was really successful for them. So they sell pet allergy medicine, really successful brand, and they had the best problem in the world. Google Shopping was amazing for them. They just needed more. They needed more traffic from Google Shopping because it's such a good return on their advertising spend. And they thought, we sell dog allergy medicine, but it could be a lot of uses. It could be for golden retriever, it could be for a pug or a bulldog. Just for example, wouldn't it make sense if we just took our product feed, multiplied out our SKUs, changed our titles and descriptions? That way we could show up for a lot more search phrases that people would be searching for, and they could buy from us more. We could take up more real estate in Google Shopping. And that's what they did. And they did SKU multiplication. They just took their product feed, multiplied it out. Their traffic increased 346%, revenue 246%, and they stayed within their return on advertising target. So it's really successful for them, right? And all they did is they just took their product feed and they just multiplied it out and changed their titles and descriptions for a lot of different keyword searches like itchy skin. And it was a lot more successful, and they could show up for a lot more search phrases. And it's a win-win for every party involved. It's a win for Google because they're showing more relevant products for someone searching, so they're doing a better job for searcher intent. It's better for the user because they know exactly what product they're looking to buy. And it's a win for the merchant because they make more money. So it's a win for everyone involved to do it. And the last one I want to talk about is categorization. This isn't really an optimization technique. It's just something that a lot of merchants do wrong a lot of times. And it's a really good thing to go through your feed and just see if there's any products that aren't showing for a lot of search phrases and not getting a lot of clicks. Because this is usually one of the reasons that you're not showing up is you have the wrong category. So if you see a really gross amount of, minimization of what you're showing up for, you want to look at the product categories and make sure that you have the right category in there. That way your products can show up more. So if I could summarize this entire presentation into 3 things. Focusing on the customer when they're looking to buy by focusing on your AdWords campaigns. Long tail keyword phrases generally means they're looking to buy. Focus on the customer experience from when they Google, from when they come to your site, and they're staying on your site. And focusing on high quality link acquisition by creating insanely interesting and relevant content, promoting the right people, adding value. And would you share this link to your friends on Facebook? If not, it's probably not a good link. You do all these 3 things, Google will favor you, and you'll love search engine marketing just as much as I do. You'll be really successful with it. And just to give you an idea, the retailers examples I used, I basically figured out how much their increases in revenue was year over year and averaged it together. It was 137%. So it's really impactful for these retailers. So thank you again for listening. Visit true.com/Imagine 2017. You'll get this whole presentation. I wrote everything I'm going to say in all my different slides. And please come up. I'd love to learn more about you and get to know you and connect with me. Feel free to email me any questions. Here's my phone number too. And please connect with us on Twitter. And now, questions. Cool.
Do you see AMP playing a part in e-commerce content, or do you see it being more relevant to blog content and strategic content in the future?
Yeah, I would say we're probably a few years off from it. There's a couple guys that I was following that were able to take their products and try to do it like AMP format. I think it's just really kind of like more a content kind of company thing right now. Even they're behind. They're really behind on it too, So I'd say probably we're like 2 or 3 or 4 years out from that. But I definitely think so. And I think that's where Google will try to figure it out how to do that, because it's definitely a really great way for people to see products quicker. But I also think retailers do a pretty good job on mobile experiences. As we keep increasing our mobile experience, they'll load faster. So I don't think we'll need like an AMP format really, because you're buying a product, it's going to be time invested into it. You're not just going to like, oh, I want to buy a product as quickly as I can. You want to learn more about it, you trust the brand, learn more about branding, those various things. So it could be, but I would say about maybe 2, 3, 4 years out probably until we're looking at that. Oh, sorry. Okay, sure. Yeah, go ahead. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bing's just really slow compared to Google. So I'd say optimize for Google, then Bing and Yahoo will follow. There's no reason to optimize for Bing. It's pretty much the same thing, just an outdated version of Google. It's very keyword centric. But yeah, basically it's funny, like all the results are usually like the companies that spam backlinks back in the day, compared to the people who are doing good strategies.
Reads a link, does that count as a backlink? And then does each share count as an additional link, or is it just one link?
So Google said it doesn't count. I haven't seen it. Like, you'll get varied opinions on it. I think Facebook, I've definitely seen that increase, but really when it comes down to it, gosh, who was it? Gary Isles from Google. He basically said like, yeah, I mean, you get social media shares, that's great, but you also get more chances to get linked to, which is why you see when content gets shared 137,000 times, they just also got like 500 links from it, you know? So it just kind of happened naturally that, you know, they got shared a lot and then they got backlinks. They're like, oh, it must be Facebook likes, but probably really wasn't. Google does not crawl social media data and really to understand more about it, though. They said it's too difficult. They didn't want to rely on it. No, I haven't seen any data that would support it. I haven't seen any case studies that says that. So I would have to say, I mean, really doubtful, but it could, but I doubt it. I doubt they're able to calculate that because they can't really crawl the social media networks because the social media networks like Google and Facebook aren't friends. Facebook tried to make their own search engine and Google tried to make their own social network. So Google doesn't want like Facebook to lock them out, you know, with their search algorithm and then it screw up all their search results. Hopefully does that help?
We're B2B, and how important do you see investing in like a Facebook page and store? And like, I don't see our end customer really hanging out on Facebook, but for the optimization, should we keep up that strategy, bare minimum, just be there, keep showing up in Google, or do you kind of not see it?
Yeah, I wouldn't worry so much as like an SEO perspective here, B2B. Just are you having interaction on social media? Like, would people be interested in your content? I definitely think it's good. Like, you know, my company is obviously B2B and we're always on social media, but we do it more as like, you know, acquiring customers. So we do it as more like a marketing thing. We definitely wouldn't do it just for SEO perspective or trying to rank for organic search. I'd say it couldn't hurt though. It's good to have a Facebook page and post it once in a while because people could click on you from organic listing, click on your Facebook and see if you guys are alive or not. So yeah, it just depends.
So it used to be a lot easier for us. We would only sell directly from our website, but now we're moving to selling our same products on Amazon, Walmart, all of these other channels. Mm-hmm. How does that affect SEM? Are we just driving up the cost because we're all bidding on the same similar terms? How have you seen that with your clients?
Yeah, so Amazon can rank for your products. So if you're selling products on Amazon, they can actually outrank you. And we've seen that before. There's a company that sold these glasses. They want to rank for this one particular search that had like 5,000 monthly searches, and their number one rank was their Amazon listing. They're like, well, can't get rid of it. You know, and what they actually kind of found is the majority of their Amazon sales were actually people searching their products and literally finding their Amazon listing, clicking on it, buying from it. So it was actually, you know, they're already spending money on marketing it, but they're getting their costs driven down. I mean, they're having to spend more on the Amazon listings. So it can definitely compete with you. But I mean, if Amazon's a big part of your business, it's just kind of one of the natural things you have to deal with. There's no way you can like de-index your Amazon listings from Google.
So I wanted to know, what's the impact with product reviews on a site, beforehand and afterhand? So in some product reviews and even product questions, like in product questions, we allow links to the product pages. So when we respond, we actually put a link into that product page. Does that increase the SEO or help the SEO? And product reviews, how much more does that impact SEO?
So yeah, there's two things I want to go attack that question. So product reviews are huge, critical. You have to do product reviews. I mean, look at Amazon. Like they literally built like their search engine rankings off comments, you know, and reviews. So it's really important that you have a good partner for your reviews that allows indexable comments on your products. Like you want Google to be able to index all that content on the exact same page so that Google sees a lot more long-form content on your product pages. Hopefully that answers the first part. So yes, product reviews, go product reviews. Second part, so are you talking about like an external site that has your reviews and they link back to your product?
I'm talking about a tab that has ask product questions. So
okay.
The customer submits a question about the product on the product page, and then we respond with an answer. And there's also a separate CMS page that has all of the product questions on one page. So it could take them to that page, or that page can take them back to the product page. And then sometimes we'll put links into the product page on that question or the response on that question.
Yeah, I'm following. Okay, cool. Yeah, I get that. So if it's just one gigantic page that's all of your like links on one page, it probably doesn't make any, you know, it doesn't really matter. Like Google's pretty good about understanding like what links to what web pages. So like if you just create a CMS page on your website, it wouldn't have any value. But if you link on your navigation bar, then all the links that go to your website all also link to that page. And you basically share your link authority to that page, and that page can also rank really high. So if it's just like a random CMS page that's not indexed by Google, or if it is indexed by Google, but it has no value from a link perspective, like if you have interlinks going to it, then it wouldn't matter at all, really. So it just depends, are you interlinking to it? Are they separate? Is each question a separate URL? Is that separate URL also interlinked? And if it's like 5 levels deep, it's probably not going to help. So I would be probably bold enough to say it here. I mean, you can email me. I could definitely take a look at it more, but I'd be bold enough to say it's probably not helping at all. That makes sense.
Any other questions?
What do you see in the next 12 to 24 months as being important priorities for staying ahead of the game with SEO? Clearly, RankBrain's very important, but what other things do you feel are going to be coming down the pipeline?
Yeah, well, content creation promotion, I think a lot of companies are really seeing the light on content marketing. And I kind of feel like e-commerce needs to catch up a little bit on that too. Because the merchants they're winning really big on content marketing and creating really good content and promoting the right people. And it goes beyond just SEO. I feel like a lot of SEO really in the future it's really getting mixed with other things like PR. So I think we're going to kind of see this huge kind of coming out of the light in the darkness, I guess, with SEO. It's no longer going to be considered like this weird, shady tactics. I see a lot of merchants really seeing the light again and coming in, investing in it. And I just really feel like SEO is going to really connect with all of the other marketing channels, email marketing, social, all these. I mean, you see all that. I was talking about social media, integrating all these channels together. So really, it's just going to be very integrated with marketing in general. But nothing really big changes. It's just have the best content,
For like YouTube videos, we're gonna do a sponsorship with someone who's got a very large YouTube following. Do you have any recommendations for linking from YouTube and those types of that would help with my sponsorship?
Yeah, definitely. So like I said in that example, that YouTube video, the guy that Howl at Blend, what they did is they created their own separate website for it. You can also create like a subdomain or your own CMS pages, like your blog, like you can incorporate in there like a different category. But you want to get it off just YouTube because you're not going to get like link value from YouTube because it's no index and Google doesn't crawl, it doesn't count those links. So if you could have your own your own page that has all your YouTube videos that people can link to, you'd be much more successful with it. So I'd say pretty much get it on your blog, get it on your own website, compared to having YouTube have all the value, If that makes sense and hopefully helps. Yeah, you do both. Yeah, they did both. I mean, you have to do both. Yeah, because you host it there. You can also host it on Vimeo too. I love Vimeo. That's one of my favorites too. So there's not really much SEO value either YouTube or Vimeo. I think YouTube's a lot more popular. So if you're looking for more also marketing value, probably YouTube's good too, especially if people are searching YouTube too. Something I don't talk about is people search YouTube for different queries. So it'd be good to optimize yourself for both there too.
Well, we have time for one more question.
Just to follow up with the YouTube, should we make it private on YouTube so they have to come to our page to see the video, or does that not matter?
Ooh, sneaky. No, I wouldn't do that. I'm not a fan of that. Just give away the content, and just like either they see it there or your website. It's not bad. It's a pretty creative strategy, but I would say if it's like something super unique and relevant, and you had like a preview video, you're like, hey, here's like 10 seconds of amazing content they just created. You see the full video here. That'd be kind of a cool strategy, but yeah, I wouldn't try to hide content for people. Might turn off more people, and you have less effectiveness from it.
Thank you, Ron,
Thanks, guys.
for sharing your
Thanks for coming.
insights.